Hey, internet users. Remember when the internet was supposed to be this big, beautiful place where cats ruled and information was free? Yeah, me too. Turns out things haven't quite worked out that way. We've ended up with an internet dominated by a few powerful companies. You know the ones, big tech giants with more data than sense. They control what we see, what we do, and what we can even say online. It's enough to make you want to throw your phone into the ocean. But then, who would film it? Don't despair just yet though. There's a new kid on the block and it's called the Internet Computer Protocol, or ICP for short. This fancy-sounding technology promises to shake things up, giving power back to the people and making the internet a more open and secure place. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to dive headfirst into the world of ICP and see if it lives up to the hype. Here's the thing about big tech. They love data. They love collecting it, they love analyzing it, and they really love using it to sell us stuff. Our personal information has become more valuable than gold. But this data obsession comes at a price. Every time we use social media, shop online, or even just browse the web, we're handing over little pieces of ourselves. And those pieces can be used to manipulate us, exploit us, and even steal our identities. Remember that time you searched for a pair of socks online and then suddenly you were bombarded with sock ads everywhere you went? That's big tech's data machine at work. Creepy, right? And it's not just about targeted advertising. Our data is vulnerable to hacks, leaks, and abuses of all kinds. In this lawless land, it's the big, powerful companies that call the shots. But what if there was a way to build an internet that wasn't controlled by a handful of corporations? An internet where our data was truly ours, safe from prying eyes and greedy corporations? That's where ICP comes in. Imagine an internet where your data isn't held hostage by mega corporations. An internet free from censorship, surveillance, and the constant barrage of targeted ads. This is the promise of the Internet Computer Protocol, or ICP. ICP is a revolutionary technology that aims to decentralize the internet, putting power back in the hands of users. It's like taking the keys to the internet away from big tech and giving them to the people. But how does it work, you ask? Well, picture the internet as a giant network of computers, all connected and sharing information. Currently, much of this information is stored and managed by centralized servers owned by, you guessed it, big tech. ICP flips this model on its head. Instead of relying on these centralized servers, ICP uses a distributed network of computers spread across the globe. This means there's no single point of failure, making the network more resilient to attacks and outages. Think of it like this. If the internet were a pizza, the traditional model would be like ordering from a single pizzeria. But with ICP, it's like everyone's making their own slice and sharing it with each other. Delicious and decentralized. Okay, we've established that ICP is all about decentralization, but how does it actually work? Get ready for a tiny bit of tech talk, but don't worry, I'll keep it simple. ICP uses something called blockchain technology. You might have heard of it because of its association with cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. But blockchain is more than just digital money. It's essentially a secure and transparent way to record and verify information. In the case of ICP, blockchain technology is used to create a decentralized network of computers that can run applications and store data. These computers are not owned by any single entity, but rather by a community of users who contribute their computing power to the network. These users are rewarded for their contributions with ICP tokens, which are the native cryptocurrency of the internet computer. Think of them as digital tokens that grant you voting rights and access to the network's resources. But here's where things get really cool. ICP allows developers to build what are called unstoppable applications, or dApps for short. These dApps are hosted on the decentralized network, meaning they are resistant to censorship, tampering, and downtime. Section 5. The power of ICP tokens, more than just digital cash. ICP tokens are the lifeblood of the internet computer. They give holders a say in how the network is run. They're used to pay for cycles, the fuel of the network. Developers need cycles to run their dApps. ICP tokens reward users who contribute to the network. It's a beautiful, self-sustaining ecosystem. Section 6. Unstoppable apps. Building the future on ICP. Okay, enough about the technical stuff. Let's talk about what you can actually with ICP. Remember those unstoppable applications I mentioned? They're kind of a big deal. dApps built on ICP are different from the apps you're used to using. For starters, they're not controlled by a single company. That means no more worrying about your favorite app getting shut down because it offended some corporate overlord. They're also more secure as they're not hosted on a single server that can be hacked or taken offline. And because they're built on a decentralized network, dApps can be more transparent and accountable. But what kind of dApps are we talking about here? Pretty much anything you can imagine. We're talking social media platforms that can't censor your posts, messaging apps that are truly private, and financial services that don't require a bank. Imagine a world where you could control your own data, connect with others without fear of surveillance, and access services without relying on intermediaries. That's the potential of dApps on ICP. Section 7. A Web 3.0 Dream ICP's Vision for the Internet. ICP isn't just about building a better internet, it's about creating a whole new internet, one that's more equitable, secure, and empowering for everyone. You might have heard the term Web 3.0 being thrown around lately. It's a bit of a buzzword, but essentially it refers to the next evolution of the internet, and ICP is vying to be a major player in this new era. The current internet, often referred to as Web 2.0, is dominated by centralized platforms and data silos. Web 3.0, on the other hand, is all about decentralization, user ownership, and open protocols. ICP aligns perfectly with this vision. By providing a platform for building decentralized applications and services, ICP is paving the way for a more democratic and user-centric internet. Imagine a world where you could seamlessly move your data and online identity between different platforms and services, a world where you could own and control your digital assets, and where online interactions are more secure and transparent. That's the promise of Web 3.0, and ICP is at the forefront of making this vision a reality. Section 8, the challenges ahead. Can ICP really take on the giants? Okay, so ICP sounds pretty great in theory, but let's be real for a second. Building a new internet is no easy feat. There are some serious challenges that ICP needs to overcome if it wants to succeed. First off, there's the issue of adoption. Right now, ICP is still a relatively niche technology. Most people haven't even heard of it, let alone understand how it works. Convincing the masses to ditch their familiar apps and services for a decentralized alternative won't be easy. Then there's the competition. ICP isn't the only player in the decentralized internet game. There are other blockchain platforms out there, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. ICP will need to prove that it's the best platform for building the next generation of dApps. And let's not forget about the regulatory landscape. Governments around the world are still grappling with how to regulate cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. ICP will need to navigate this evolving regulatory environment carefully to avoid getting bogged down in red tape. Overcoming these challenges won't be easy, but the team behind ICP is confident that they can build a better internet. Section 9. Skeptics and Critics. Not everyone's sold on ICP. Of course, no new technology comes without its fair share of skeptics and critics, and ICP is no exception. Some people argue that ICP is too complex and technical for the average user to understand or adopt. Others worry about the potential for scams and security vulnerabilities in the decentralized world. After all, if there's no central authority to police the network, who's to stop bad actors from taking advantage? Then there are those who believe that ICP is just another overhyped blockchain project that will eventually fade into obscurity. They argue that the challenges of decentralizing the internet are simply too great to overcome. And let's not forget about the environmental impact of blockchain technology. Some critics argue that the energy-intensive nature of proof-of-work blockchains, like the one ICP currently uses, is unsustainable in the long run. These are all valid concerns that the ICP community needs to address if it wants to gain wider adoption and trust. Section 10. Why this matters: your data, your internet, your future. So, why should you care about ICP and the decentralized internet? Because it's about more than just technology. It's about the future of our online lives. It's about taking back control of our data from big tech and putting it back in our own hands. It's about creating an internet that is free from censorship, surveillance, and manipulation. It's about building a more equitable and democratic online world where everyone has a voice and the opportunity to participate. It's about empowering individuals and communities to create the internet they want to see. The choices we make today will shape the internet of tomorrow. Will we continue to let a handful of powerful corporations control our online lives? Or will we embrace decentralization and build a better internet for everyone? Section 11. Conclusion. The decentralized revolution is here. The internet has come a long way since its humble beginnings, but somewhere along the way, we took a wrong turn. We ended up with an internet dominated by a few powerful companies that prioritize their own profits over our privacy and freedom. ICP offers a different path forward, a path towards a more decentralized, secure, and equitable internet. It's a bold vision, and there are still many challenges to overcome. But if successful, ICP could revolutionize the way we live, work, and interact online. It could empower individuals, foster innovation, and create a more open and connected world. The future of the internet is in our hands. Let's choose wisely.